that they let me out of the hospital to go to a movie, and we saw Groundhog Day. And what was really interesting about that movie was that in there, Bill Murray, he kept reliving the same day and the same day. And the only way he could get out of the day was to change himself. It was a realization I had to take some control. I had to be stronger in finding my own way.
But where to turn? Ironically, it was during an excruciating blood washing treatment that Joan found hope.
There was a nurse named Amy who was teaching the other nurse how to do these treatments, because this was the first time they were ever done in this hospital.
Basically, I walked in the room and I saw somebody hurting and in pain.
She put her hand on my arm like this, and my arm turned all warm. I said, what in the world is going on here? It felt all warm and healing.
The Reiki was the only thing I knew at the time, and it helped her.
We talked about, how platelets make me feel. We visualized fields of daisies. We, had this conversation. And then, then she left, and I went to the doctor's appointment. And he says, okay, we'll measure your platelets. And my platelets were 40,000. He says, well, how could this be? Because I left the hospital, they were much lower. And I felt such a reprieve.
I learned from Joan that she had been getting increasingly educated about things that were other than midstream.
I read a book by Deepak Chopra, and in there he discussed Ayurvedic medicine. It's an ancient Indian system of medicine where they use herbs and meditation and diet to heal. And I thought, well, that's something maybe I can add. I wasn't taking any herbs, and it seemed like it would fit into what I was doing.
Well, she came to see me specifically for the Ayurvedic approach to healthcare, which is the oldest form of natural healthcare. I was not taking over her care as her subspecialist doing hematology, but rather offering her this natural healthcare system.
I told her that I would be very willing to monitor her platelet count and monitor her health on those treatments, mainly so that if there was a negative reaction from them, that we had come to an agreement that she would allow me to intervene and help her through a problem if something occurred.
I didn't focus on the number of platelets that she had, although they were profoundly abnormally low. I didn't focus on the fact that she had, ecchymosis, bleeding areas in her skin. I focused on the more subtle, profound levels of physiological functioning that I found in her pulse and addressed that.
Over the long, painful months of trying to deal with her disease, she had gone from vibrant and active to fragile and fatigued. Modern medicine had failed her, so she was more than willing to follow the Ayurvedic herbal regimen. She had nothing to lose.
And then she visited her hematologist-oncologist again, and he took a blood test, and her platelet count went way up.
Hematologist was astounded, and then they jumped to 190. I said, oh my gosh, and then they kept going up.
The platelet count was on August 3rd, 1994.
She had responded very rapidly to the treatments that she had selected, and I felt it had either been a spontaneous remission or a remission induced by the cooperation of her treatment in the setting of her having her spleen removed.
I think, honestly, she related that his reply was, look, I don't know anything about this. I wasn't trained in this, but just indulge me. Stop everything that he told you to do and come and see me in a few weeks. And she went back to him and had her blood taken, and the platelet count dropped precipitously to dangerous levels again. And he said, well, indulge me further. Start doing everything this guy told you to do. And she resumed the program, and he took another blood test, and her platelet count was way up.
On her therapy, you can see these numbers. She started her own program, and she shoots up with her selected remedies. And she's been in remission ever since then.